So there are a lot of technologies today that is being used in wound care, diabetic foot or otherwise also chronic wound care. A lot of technologies are been coming. How do you see them? How do you adopt these technologies? What parameters do you think is appropriate? It's like it has to become under the protocol. Like if it's a huge hospital now, it has to be under the protocol. So what parameters do you see to adopt these technologies?
See that in wound care, I think it's going to be a very, very, very major thing in future. Okay, I will say future because it has not become still now. That's my feeling. I always used to say, whatever happens in the United States will happen about 5 years, 6 years later in the UK, Europe, and after that it will be in India. Okay, so right now if you take wound care products and wound care, it's a big thing in the US. Okay, a big market in the US. We will also have it like this in India. Okay, the reason being, the wound care products are all good. I think what is available in the market or the products are very good. When they will make a big impact is when we start having a more aging population.
Yeah.
So India's aging population is getting higher, one. And now Coimbatore, as much is known as a manufacturing hub, it is also known as a home for the retired people.
The 60s tsunami is what they call it.
So now, when a large number of people are going to live alone, okay, and they live longer, that means they will not be ready for a major surgery and they may not be willing for a major. So when you reach that stage, that's the stage where Japan, America, France, they all reached. So we are not yet reached there. I think we are reaching there. So once we reach there, then what will happen? There may not be enough number of surgeons to take care of them, and a lot of people will not want surgery. And at that time, they will require some wound care product which is comfortable to use, which is nice to use, and which is not smelly, which is socially very acceptable. I think I'll put the right word.
Yeah.
Socially very acceptable wound care dressings. So at that time, I think it will hit a peak, which I think will happen about anywhere between 7-10 years from now. I think it will hit. So that will be the time when. Till that time, I personally feel that surgical these things in an institution like ours, surgery will be the predominant mode of treatment for wounds that we do.
So the advanced wound care products that you see, it could be NPWT or it could be or MMPs that Urgo has come up with.
Yes.
So what do you see the role of these products beyond the surgery? I know surgery would be the primary first option that we are seeing. So beyond the surgery, how do you see the role of these products?
They all have a very good, they all have a very big role they will have. See, now what happens is, most of the time we are surgically debriding. So that means, you require anesthesia, you require theatre time. Okay? But at any particular time, when theatre time or the surgeon's cost becomes higher, or the comorbidities of the patient has are more severe, then it will tilt towards wound care products. Okay, I think till that. So, if in a particular institution they are not able to manage a very sick patient, they don't have regional block types for to give a single limb anesthesia. Okay, where even a spinal is very too much of a risk. So at that time, our NPWT or MMP is all those things. They'll all be of very very great use. So, when this population becomes higher, the demand becomes more than the supply, or what we could create, and this. So, it will be a question. India is a great value buyers. Okay, where is cost advantage, which becomes cost advantage. Okay, then it will tilt that way. Okay, so I think it's now a race between. They're reducing a little, the wound care products getting a cost a little bit down, and the surgeon's cost going up, or the establishment cost goes up. I think this will be which one which goes. I think that's the way. What do you think? I think that's the way I view it.
True. So coming back, how do you balance? I heard that you'll be working from morning 7:30 to evening 8 o'clock. How do you? What is the the balancing, the work-life balance, which is the more prominent word these days. So how would you balance?
Yeah, my brother in a meeting called the work-life balance or work-wife balance. Yeah. No, I think for this, I personally think you have to be, God has to be kind to you. I think that's the number one. I think if a wife from the very beginning takes pleasure in the achievement of your husband, I think then that's fine, one. And secondly, we got married very early. Okay, when you didn't have much of comforts and all that. No? So that means as you grow up with these things, so then you don't really have a choice of your own. Okay, now people have a choice of their own. They have got their minds. I think this is what is my needs. In those days, we didn't have anything. Okay, so that means whatever is there, you adjust. Okay, so that is another advantage. The third advantage we had was our joint family system we had, so which allowed us to travel. So there again, I think you can't. I always say you can't have the advantages of joint family without the disadvantages of joint family. Okay. So one great advantage was when we had small children. My brother's wife, she used to take care of our children. So from the very beginning we traveled. See, now with the nuclear families, you find a lot of people come to conferences. No, they all come alone because the children are there, the wife can't come. So what happened in our side, I think I would say, what really made our things click, both myself, my brother, we were traveling together from the very beginning. They're traveling together. So that means, when they see you travel and you do something good, you speak well, people, when the wife sees your recognitions that you get, then they say, oh, this is good, this is correct. This is the right way of doing. So I would rate that as a very important thing which happened so much.
And also, I think it makes a difference when your spouse is also involved in the business. Like you have your wife as an administrator here,
right.
And also probably other family members also have been administrating various aspects.
But the administrative job, came only now after the children finished the education.
Okay, not before.
Not before that. No? So I think at this stage, then that stage you cross, when your son becomes a doctor and all, then only they become administrators. So at that stage you are gone, wedded. No? So now there's no point in this thing. Yeah. So a lot of problems happen in the younger period. And those times, I think you also have to be nice. I think you don't really make a mess about it after you go home. No? That's right.
We were talking about the government of Tamil Nadu initiative, which the Ganga promoting it. How did it all happen? How did the government got convinced that the diabetic foot is something that needs to be screened, and how is it being implemented across Tamil Nadu?
So I personally feel when you want to do certain things, you can do only up to a certain level. But if you really want to reach out to the masses, that means it has to be either two ways. One is through some big NGOs, okay, or it has to be through the government. And then reaching through the government has got a phenomenal big machinery. I got this convinced because in Pulse Polio program, if you take, however much Rotary, billions of dollars they may pump in. But then finally it goes through the government initiatives. Yeah. And where the small pockets where still polio exists, or places where the government machinery is not very effective. So here in Tamil Nadu, fortunately we got an extraordinarily good base government machinery, and which has been built over the years. It has been built up. And one of the vascular surgeons, Dr. Marudhari, who was one of the officers in the National Health Mission, very casually talking, he said, I was telling him that this is what we have to do. And then they saw the results. And I said, we have to do it in but I should really say that the government is amazing. What was that was amazing in the sense we had extraordinarily good officers who were also seeing it on the bigger picture, bigger vision, one. Second is, collaborating between public-private partnership. That again is very important. I think they also had the boldness to do that. And it was done extraordinarily in a very scientific manner they did it. They found out in Tanjore as to how much of diabetics they have. And 95% of the diabetics they screened. So the next step was training doctors. That step was taken. The level 1 was the people on the ground, PHCs and all, what they will see. So I think a well laid out plan was done, and it's immaculately.
How long did it take to convince the government and then to actually implement it?
No, actually, I should not say we convinced the government. The government was always keen for it. They were always very, very keen for it. And in fact, they only pushed it. Because I would say, it came from their initiative. And because we have a thing in Tamil Nadu, what's called as a Makkali Thedi Marathuvam. That means medicine to the doorsteps. So where they had already a list of people who are all diabetics, hypertensive.
Because they're buying the medicines.
Buying medicine, giving medicines. And I don't think any other state has got this much.
I don't think so.
So, well, this has been done, then it became easy for them to do this. And I was very surprised at the data collection systems they have in the government. I think they're extraordinarily good. And one thing I understood was, if you think that you want to do something really good, there is a space which the government provides where you can use it. Okay, that's what I think we have to be in that space to do the good thing it is. I think now we are training the multipurpose health workers, people who have finished +2 and people who dress the wounds in taluk hospitals. We are training them as to what the diabetes means and all. They are all amazingly interested. I'm sure, as I was just commenting, we need to document the process which it went through as much as the system. So how we went through that is
process and the outcome.
The process and the outcome itself will become a big paper in Lancet or some big thing.
Also, because there should be an inspiration for the other states also. To back in Karnataka itself, we are trying to. It has been going on, but it has been at a very slow pace for whatever political reasons that are there. It has been a very slow pace.
I think it is not easy because a couple of governments with one chief minister and one health minister interacted. They said that we would really like to do it the way you have done. But then to do this, we need to have an infrastructural built-up which has been built over the years.
Yes.
So the Prime Minister, the strength of the system must have been there. No? So I think first initially we have to build up that system must be built up, which we could be used for anything then. It can be used for diabetes, hypertension, it can be used for then anything. So now with that artificial intelligence, all these are coming. I think data collection systems being easy, I'm sure that's the way to go.
True. So talking about artificial intelligence, I heard that the Plastic Surgeons Association or you at Ganga is also trying to look at artificial intelligence in a big way. So what are your thoughts and what are your plans on that?
So if we want to have good outcomes, actually what does that artificial intelligence depend upon? It depends on data.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically anybody who has got large amount of data becomes powerful. Okay. But that data means it has been authentic data. I think where India may miss out, where Indian medicine may miss out is that honestly we have to think, are we correctly documenting things? Okay, so a number of days, the number of days antibiotic given, the outcomes and all. So whomsoever records has got authentic data, that means they become powerful. So the first thing is whether we use artificial intelligence or that's the second matter. The first thing is what we have to do is data, and then that must become a scientific discipline. No? There again has to discipline. I think from parental discipline. So I think from the very beginning, if they say this has to be done, that has to be done. I think that has to be done.
I see. So, as I was observing a couple of years back here, every photograph, how meticulously it was being taken of the wounds, pre-surgery, post-surgery, and other things, and documented is something that I learned from Ganga and started implementing in my own practice. That how a medical photography is how important.
So that is, I learned it when I went to Louisville. So as soon as you go, you are asked to take your headshot. They're sitting there, then a lot of fellows were sitting. Then I asked them, I thought they were also doctors, who was just joined like me. He said, where did you come from? They said, I come from Sweden. And then, which unit you worked? Oh, no, we were all photography people, he said. They said, why? No, we came to learn medical photography in Louisville. So that was in 89.
Oh.
In 89, people from Sweden, they had come to Louisville to learn medical photography. So that means, then I thought, in every specialty that you do, that means everybody has to develop. So that's another point in big institutions, Americans. So it's not enough, a surgeon I develop. Our physiotherapy team has to develop. Our dietitian department has to develop. I think so like that. Every department has to develop. Then only the big institutions.
That's what I heard. The work culture at Ganga is more like, delegate something and give independence to that person to build on his own is what I heard. And that has been amazingly working, I suppose.
That's good.
So coming to the community engagements, I see that you personally and Ganga Hospital as such has been involved in various community engagements, like giving it back to the society. It could be something hope after fire. It could be Project Shakti, walk for life, the bus, the diabetic foot screening bus that has been there. So how has these things been put in together? How has it been working? How has it been contributing back to the society?
Yeah. So this contributing back to the society, as I said, I love books. One of the books, series of books I loved is on Tatas.
Yeah.
That's every book on Tata that gets published I bought and I read. Okay, so it's always say that when you consider what they all have done, we are just peanuts, in the sense, at least in thought and deed, I think it has to be good. So we found that when you give back or when you join with a good institution or other NGOs and do things, the one person who benefits, honestly, you have to say is us. Okay, in Arvind also they have to say, when we help others, it's not that we are helping others, we are honestly helping ourselves. Okay, I think that's the message we got. And so we thought we went in by that. And the next point I have to say is that in this world, no good thing dies down for want of money. That I am absolutely convinced. I think there is at least someone who is to say that this idea is good, and somehow nature conspires to help you. I guess in that way only we started this Hope After Fire project with the Rotary Club Metropolis, where anything in burn deformities can be done free.
Okay.
Now the project value is around 12 crores.
Oh.
That's, I think, the biggest project done by a single team in the whole country. I think that's the way there. And then we did for Walk for Life. We have a diabetic foot we did. So there we thought we had to go to the people. So we had to go to the people. Suppose, as you know, the people who all come to us, they are all in stage 3 or 4.
Stage 3, absolutely.
So if we have to do this offloading surgeries, that means you have to catch them in 1 and 2.
1 or 2.
And at that time when they are in 1 and 2, they don't think they need to see you. So that means we need to see them. Okay, in that way we thought we'll do a bus. We'll do. And that bus, we really did it in a very classy way. Okay, because there you can wash, and there you can take an X-ray, you can take a radiograph, you can print straight away. You can radiograph, everything we can do over there. And in fact, Urgo had a competition in the Southeast Asia competition as to for ideas. So in fact, we said that screening, massive screening of people, and they gave $7,000 we got.
Oh, okay,
I think that was the price for a good idea of screening.
Awesome.
So that was useful for screening. It is expensive, but I think at the end of the day, because we have got volume, we can do all these sort of things we can do.
So you also run an old age home, I suppose.
We don't run old age.
You're contributing.
My father was
running it.
Father was involved in a old age homes. Father was involved. He was, in fact, he was so much involved. He was in his last 10 years of his life. He was more involved in that than Ganga Hospital, I should say.
Oh, okay.
He was there. So there he was really, really good. And he, with a lot of like-minded people, he made it. And a quality homes, they all ran a very, very quality ran. That is combined with a lot of people. Coimbatore District Welfare Association.
Okay.
So his friends They all did a great job of it.
Awesome. So, last few questions.
Yeah.
What is your vision for Ganga Hospital? One.
Yeah.
What is the overall broader vision in terms of wound care that you see for India? I would want to put it as, we have learned or we have been inspired from US and UK coming here. Now that Ganga has been established and several other hospitals have been established, what is it that you see that the India can give it back to the world in terms of wound care perspective, and also vision of Ganga?
What is the vision of Ganga Hospital? I would say that what you right now achieved is easy. But then what would really matter is that we have to sustain and scale at the same pace beyond us. Absolutely. I think that's the...
It's like an institution building.
Institution building. No, that's I think that's where there lies the trick like that, because Dr. Ackland, the pioneer microsurgery, when he came to us in 2005, he wrote in the Visitors book, congratulations for coming to the United Nations of Microsurgical Progress. This, the energy and enthusiasm reminds me of Louisville of the 60s, Louisiana of the 70s. May I wish you continued progress. So he had linked up, given to the, and then said us. Then I thought, oh my God, he must not say Ganga of the 90s or Ganga of the 2000s. I asked him, why? He said, institutions, he said, very many institutions don't grow beyond 75 years. You really see, they will be there, but they're not at their same pace. But then Mayo, then some institutions keep growing. So my vision is that I need to set up processes and systems so that things continue to go for excellence. I think that's my vision. Okay, and we are trying to do that. Okay, taking steps. So I think that's where we should really. It's beyond us. It has to sustain. That's our vision. So, so the wound care products or wound care in India. So what I would say is, if you take India, not in wound care only, you will have centers of phenomenal excellence. I think we can outbeat any other center in the world or comparable to delivery in the world. And but what we really lack, or the higher level, average level of wound care, is lacking. So we will have centers of excellence where possible to get extraordinarily good care. I think this is possible. But what I would really think is that for our masses, we need to raise the average level of care that has to be there. And that, I think, can be done only with good public-private partnership. So that I am very convinced, where in a very healthy way, a good private-public partnership only it could convey. So that's my thought. And
whether all the wound care products today, if you look at it, most of them, the ones, have been coming from abroad to India today. So where do you see that the Indian scientists, Indian researchers, Indian clinicians contributing to the world in terms of wound care?
Yeah. So that will manufacture on research methodology. So I think we need to invest on research. That's one. And what I would think will make the big difference is cost factor. So this it's not providing trash cheap. I think it's trying to get the quality at an affordable price. So I think there, if we could make some paradigm shift and change, and then I think we'll be able to show to the world as to what we have to do.
Like what DeepSeek
did. No, not that it is. It is an inferior quality. In fact, it is comparable in aspects of better quality.
Yeah.
So I think that's exactly what. In fact, you need a book on Gandhi at 150. And Dr. Mashlekar has written a book. I said, what will sustain in future is not trying to make a hepatitis vaccine. Just compared few examples. It's not 10 times cheaper. Okay, it's not 10% cheaper. It's about 10 times cheaper. Okay, if you do a cataract surgery at $200, how do you do it at $20? Okay, it's not this thing. So in that way, we will not be thinking about reduction in price and reduction in cost of 10%, 20%. No, it's about 20 times, 30 times cheaper. I think that's way, just exactly the DeepSeek did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's given free.
Huh?
It's given free. You said like anyone can.
Then, so I think India has to do that type of phenomenal ideas that you have to think.
So you were talking very initially during the conversation. You were talking about your friends getting into various games. So how about you? How do you apart from the medicine, apart from the research, apart from all the publications that you have been doing, what keeps you engaged beyond medicine?
Yeah, I said one of the things is friends. The thing, friends, books, friends, travel. I think these are the three things I love. Because traveling comes with so much of confidence. I really enjoy travel. I don't complain about long flights. Awesome. I love long flights because that gives solo time. Otherwise, I'm never alone.
Okay.
These flights, it gets you to think about future. I think I love long flights. That's one. Second, I think I belong to a group. We call them cohorts. Where 10 people of us are there. 10 of us are there. Each of them are all of them are leaders and they are very good people. And every month, we meet for 3 hours to meet. No matter what, we meet and then exchange, and we're really, really, really frank. So it's so exciting to see the news from different angles. So I think we need to have a lot of friends beyond doctors.
Yeah.
Beyond doctors, beyond this thing. Seeing that, and if they are good people, and we find that achieving excellence, whether it is in a hotel industry or in a construction industry or a IT sector, the basic fundamental requirements will be the same. Keeping time, this thing, the basic things will be the same. It's only a question of how do you apply it in your this thing. So, those are things which really keep me going.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know that it is a patient-first attitude that you always have, and ethics. We already said, talked about how ethical it needs to be in terms of the patient care that is coming in. So, what are the few lessons that has been learned, or any anecdotal examples of how patient care was delivered at Ganga?
So one thing that we did is when we started, we found that nobody gets injured with money in the pocket. It's 90s, You want to do replants. When the hand gets cut off, nobody has even 100 rupees in the pocket. And then you can't, and those days no credit cards and no mobile phones and no way to contact you and all that, and no pages, nothing, So if you have to do it, then you have to do it without asking for money. Okay. So then we put up a system that we don't ask the one disruptive innovation, I would call it as, nobody pays on arrival at Ganga, irrespective of anything like that. Okay. So, even now.
Okay.
You just go to the people who all got injured yesterday, got admitted yesterday, and just find out how many of them paid any advance. None of them would have paid. And I don't think we have done, in the thousands of replants that you have done, no replant fellow would have paid before. After their this thing, that's one. So if the replant fails, we don't really charge them too much for us that we have done a replant. We charge the materials used, but then we charge them for a shortening closure type. That's what because we don't want them to feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, you would think, I might have stayed in my own place and not come here. Okay, and not have my finger, not have my hand. No. So we really don't want to have him like that. Okay, so we just don't charge like that. I think that's again is another, so that it brings in a lot of goodwill. The second point is variable pricing, so that you make it to people say same thing, which they are depending upon the affordability, we do that. So that those are things which really makes an institution. They all had a culture of the institution.
Yeah.
Okay, culture of the institution that we have, and the other culture that I would say is good is. We try to see that senior people see people on arrival. And that is very important because the outcomes depend, outcome depend on decisions, and experienced people make better decisions. Okay, yes. That again. So the goal is we should be able to deliver the same care if a fellow comes at Wednesday 10 a.m. or Sunday 10 a.m. Okay? Because the needs of the patient does not change at the time of arrival of hospital. But then it's only a question of whether how we are able to deliver that. But mind me, it's extraordinarily difficult to do it all the time. But we still keep
That's
trying.
awesome. That's pretty awesome. Lastly, your message to the young doctors in terms of they're choosing wound care as a career option. And generally message for the medical fraternity, the way it is heading now, what are your thoughts and how would you see the medical care in India going further?
Yeah, for the young, I would say medicine is the best specialty to get in now. Okay, because you will find with the AI, all other things keeping in, they have found that surgery will be the last thing which they will be able to chase or conquer. Don't you know that? No, they found that surgery will be the last thing which the AI will be able to do. Because they have to find that if they have to car, just to overtake and go, I think number of times you have to teach us 18-year-old and at times it's so complicated. So surgery is the last one to become. So don't worry about it. Okay, so it will not be that. And secondly, more and more this AI and all come, all these things will come. The fundamental things of patient care, empathy, feeling for one another, I think that will increase. I think the person, you just have to be good yourself, I will find you will become a great leader. I think that again will be more and more the values which have been told, which are important, they will become more valuable with time. I am very convinced about that. So a good doctor will be a great, difficult to find. A good doctor will be a fantastic thing to have. Okay, so,
awesome.
So no, they will not have it. Third, about choosing the specialty, I think your heart has to say. I think what you see, like I wanted microsurgery. I didn't care whether the neurosurgery offers microsurgery or plastic surgery, and this offered more. I became this thing. So wound care will also be a very great specialty because of aging population. Chronic wounds, difficult to heal wounds. Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll have a lot of comorbidities they may have. So doing that is not easy, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
So I think that again. So even when you started diabetic food, I think it offered to a lot of people. They didn't really think, there's got a scope in it. I think what we have to make is that we have to make a scoop in the thing what you're allowed to do. I think you have to make the build the thing,
True.
So that should be fine. So the future is very bright.
Awesome, sir. Yeah. It has been pleasure speaking to you for the last almost about 1.5 hours. And a lot of takeaways for me personally, and I hope the young doctors or the other clinicians who are working or who are watching this episode would have their takeaways, and probably some of them will come back to Ganga and say that I would want to learn something from here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks, it was quite a pleasure too.
Pleasure.